I need to tell you something. Everyone believes that when the police took my brother Caleb away, they had solved the problem. That the bad one was gone. That the danger had passed. But they were wrong. Caleb wasn't the monster. He never was. It was me. And the truth is, it still is. After that night, the night Caleb was arrested for what I had done, I started to notice changes in myself. Subtle at first. I couldn't sleep. I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, my chest burning with that same fire I'd felt when I fought those boys at the bus stop. That fire that told me I was stronger, that hurting them had felt good, too good. And then there was the smile. It wasn't mine anymore. It would stretch across my face without me even meaning to. Wide. Too wide. My cheeks would ache, but I couldn't stop. I found myself standing in front of mirrors for hours, just watching it. Watching me change. At school, teachers thought I was distracted. Friends, well, I didn't really have those anymore. Everyone kept their distance. They thought I was mourning Caleb. Poor Noah, whose brother had gone to juvie. Poor Noah, who must have been so lonely. But I wasn't mourning. I wasn't lonely. I was hungry. The first time I fed that hunger was almost by accident. It was a Friday night. My parents had gone to bed early, still exhausted from endless phone calls with Caleb's caseworker. I slipped out the back door, my feet almost moving on their own. I don't even remember deciding where to go. I just followed the fire inside me. That's when I saw him. Marcus. One of the boys from the bus stop. The ringleader. The one who thought he could own this town. He was staggering down the sidewalk with a couple of friends, laughing too loud, drunk. They split off eventually, and he went the opposite way, down toward the park. Alone. And that's when I knew. I followed him. The park was quiet. Just the sound of crickets, and the swing chains clinking in the breeze. Marcus stumbled onto the basketball court, muttering to himself, phone glowing in his hand. He didn't notice me. Not at first. I crept closer, my heart hammering, my breath sharp in my chest. Every step felt electric, like my body had been waiting for this. Finally, he turned. His eyes squinted at me in the dark. Noah, he slurred. What the hell are you doing here? I didn't answer. I just stepped into the faint orange glow of the streetlight. And I smiled. His expression changed instantly. That cocky smirk of his vanished, replaced with something else. Unease. He backed away slowly. You think you scared me that day at the bus stop? Ha. You got lucky. That's all. But his voice cracked. And I could hear it. The fear. When I finally spoke, my voice didn't sound like mine anymore. Go to sleep. Marcus froze. What? He whispered. Go to sleep. My smile stretched wider. He turned to run, but I was faster. I slammed him against the chain-link fence, his phone clattering to the pavement. He tried to fight, but he was clumsy, weak. I don't even remember pulling the knife out of my pocket. I don't even remember deciding. It just happened. The blade sank in, and Marcus's scream tore through the night. He clawed at me, kicked, begged, but I didn't stop. Not until he stopped moving. When it was over, I stood there, chest heaving, hands sticky and trembling. And I smiled. God help me, I smiled so wide it hurt. For the first time in weeks, the fire inside me went quiet. I felt calm, complete, alive. By the time I slipped back into my room, dawn was breaking. My sheets smelled of sweat, and my reflection in the mirror was almost unrecognizable. But I didn't care, because I'd never felt more like myself. The news spread the next morning. Local teen found dead in the park. Possible gang violence. That's what they called it. Gang violence. I almost laughed when I heard my mother whisper it to my father over breakfast. They had no idea. No one did. In the days that followed, things started to change again. My parents noticed I was quieter, colder. Elaine would glance at me sometimes with this worried look, like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. Patrick just buried himself in work. At school, people avoided me more than ever. And when I caught them staring, I'd let the smile slip out. Just a flash of teeth. Enough to make them look away. But I couldn't always hide it. Sometimes it came out at the wrong moments. In class, in the hallway, at dinner. It was like the smile had a mind of its own. And then one night, I looked into the mirror again. And I realized something. This wasn't going to stop. Marcus was only the beginning. There would be more. So many more. I leaned in close, my eyes dark, my grin stretching until my face hurt. And I whispered to my reflection, "You'll see me soon." They called Marcus's death a tragedy. A random act of violence. A mistake in the wrong part of town. That's what the news said. That's what the teachers whispered in the halls. That's what my parents tried to believe. But you and I both know the truth. It wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. And it wasn't the last. Marcus was only the beginning. The police came to school the week after Marcus was found. They didn't say much, just warnings. Stay in groups, don't walk alone at night. But I could feel their eyes on me. Like they were trying to peel back my skin to see what I was hiding. At lunch, kids whispered. Some said Marcus was jumped by gang members. Others said it was an animal attack, like the woods spit out something with claws. But a few had heard the real whispers. He was smiling when they found him. That rumor spread faster than any truth ever could. And just like that, a new story began. A story about a shadow with a grin that never faded. A shadow that told you to go to sleep before it slit your throat. They didn't know it yet. But they were talking about me. Sometimes, I wonder what Caleb hears on the inside. I imagine him sitting in that cold gray cell, the other kids huddling in corners, trading ghost stories. And one of them leans in and says, "They call him the man who smiles. He's out there, still killing." I wonder if Caleb knows they're talking about his brother. If he realizes that the boy he tried so hard to protect doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe deep down, he already knew that at home, things were getting tense. Mom, Elaine, watched me closely. Too closely. She noticed the nights I slipped out. The mornings I came back with dirt under my fingernails, my hoodie smelling like the night air. "Where were you?" she asked one morning, her voice sharp. "Couldn't sleep," I said, smiling just enough to make her uneasy. "Dad," Patrick brushed it off. "He's grieving," he told her. "He's just dealing with Caleb being gone." But she knew. Mothers always know. And sometimes, when she caught me staring into the mirror too long, practicing my grin until my face hurt, I swear I saw fear in her eyes. It happened on a Friday night. I followed a classmate, Ethan. He didn't even notice me trailing him from the party. He was too drunk, stumbling down the sidewalk, phone glowing in his hand. I stayed in the shadows, my footsteps melting into his. Every time he turned, I stopped. Every time he slowed, I waited. Finally, he cut through a narrow alley. That was his mistake. The world grew quiet there, just the sound of his breathing, quick and unsteady. He sensed me. I could feel it. That shiver down his neck, that instinct telling him something was behind him. He turned. And I smiled. His eyes went wide. He whispered my name. I leaned in close, my breath brushing his ear. "Go to sleep." And when I was finished, Ethan would never wake up again. The hunger grew worse after that. Stronger. Louder. A week later, it was a girl this time, Leah. She was walking home after practice, earbuds in, oblivious. I shadowed her for blocks, the music from her headphones leaking faintly into the night. When she finally saw me, it was too late. She ran. God, how she ran. Feet slapping the pavement, breath ragged, cutting down streets and backyards. But I was always just a step behind. My whisper followed her no matter how far she ran. Go to sleep. When they found her body, her face was twisted into something unnatural. A smile carved into her skin. And just like that, the whispers grew louder. The news stations called it a crisis. The police called it a manhunt. But the kids in school called it something else. The man who smiles. That's what the papers settled on too. Headlines screamed it across every front page. Parents locked their doors. Curfews were enforced. The entire town lived in fear of the grinning shadow that hunted in the dark. And me. I loved it. The fear. The panic. The legend. I wasn't just Noah anymore. I was something more. One night, 2 detectives came to the house. They asked questions. Too many questions. Where was I on Friday? Did I know Ethan? Did I see Leah leave practice? I smiled politely, answering calmly, keeping my voice even. But one of them, Detective Harris, didn't buy it. His eyes narrowed every time my lips twitched upward. He knew something. I could see it in the way he lingered when the questions ended, staring at me as though he was trying to peel that smile off my face and see what was underneath. He's going to be a problem.